That's more zombie-like than I thought. Uh, I think it's working. Tick, tick, tick. Okay. Good morning, fellow zombies. Emotionally screwed up and sleep deprived. We griping grumbling this morning? Because I sure as hell I am. Yeah, it's 2:43 in the West Coast time morning. It's the 10th of January 2024. Emotionally screwed up and sleep deprived zombie here. The Weaver Agency of Roseman, California. Academia. We are in a land of, or next several hours we're going to be in, dealing with the concept of, wait for it guys, this will scare the hell out of you, Shakespeare. I had to make a decision concerning about one particular class, not of Shakespeare, but of another class, because I couldn't do it for logistical reasons. I may have talked about it or not. I discovered as a student, not in my youth, but in the adulthood, how timing is and how things can matter the most, especially when transportation sucks and the class at one time that you're taking is a filler. And you have to drop these things because of, well, transportation and God knows what else goes on. I mean, this is about African history, African American history, actually. And I never took the class, but I also read up on what the instructor wanted. And I'm like, wait a second, this is not the standard stuff that I've come across with other professors. And I'm like, oh, terrific. Well, I hate dropping classes because I looked at it as challenges, and I'm dropping a challenge here and there. So yeah, I'm pissed off about it. But the only remaining class I got right now is Shakespeare. I guess some people will say, "Yay, Shakespeare!" I'm like, the line of human emotion and intelligence at this point over here, wrapped in a crazed writer over here trying to fight for survival in the time of the Elizabethan territories. Hey, God's man. Yeah, well, that kind of guy. Fighting for survival, working with actors who are considered, in one particular professor's opinion, crappy people anyway, who are doing crappy things, living, working in crappy areas. It was all just crap, but people wanted entertainment in those days. So, in this lousy area of towns in England, you had these theaters. There had box seats surrounding this area of this theater just to see how these people are acting as buffoons because they need a night in a town. It wasn't put into the nicest part of town, you understand, concerning about the theater. We must talk about the theater and everything else concerning about it. Part ratio, which is a damn score I'm looking at here, but who cares? I'm only doing an oratory here to the audience. Having to watch some of the stuff on British television, you'd probably have a lark at it or laugh at it, scratch your head. And if you're, oh, the alarm bell goes off. It's my pot of coffee, my pot of wake juice here. One second. Breakfast of slobs and champions and cripples alike. Okay. Yeah, I'm crawling back into over here again. Oh, I'm not alive or awake yet, guys. You know that. Early in the morning, I feel like a damn zombie anyway. Uh, Getting out of the mania portion of this and into the serious. Last night I was having issues regarding my little dog. Yeah, the one I've showed on time to time on my videos. Yeah, after looking at all the damn diagnoses I've seen online, I sent a letter over to the vet. I need to get information, and then I need to know how to deal with what she's dealing with. And this is a reality check, boys and girls. When you're when you're a pet owner dealing with family on multiple legs, you are responsible for the health and welfare of that child of yours, and how it affects people left and right, and how this dog is around you. This drives me crazy that because this dog is the world to me, and I'm losing her slowly but surely, and it hurts like hell. And I almost made a drastic decision last night of saying to myself, I gotta put her under. She's been like this and developing for past several months already. And there's no cure for it. It's old age. The things I noticed about her, she wants to play more, running around the place, but getting meaner, getting forgetful of who these people are that she knows. She used to know the guys coming into the house to do the bug spraying and the management. And some of the neighbors over here walking their dogs, she used to know them. A year or two ago, be no problem. She'd be looking forward to it. Now she can't stand anybody. It scares the hell out of me. Once, I think yesterday, I was holding her, and she even growled at me, started barking, and I had to hold her steadily and shock her one. I think we can knock it off. She just, huh? Oh no, not you. Yeah, me. And I had to hold her and hug her. It reminded me of my brother when he had his PTSD flashbacks. At least with him, I was trying to communicate effectively, but her, she can't talk except through her expressions. And I know she's getting older. I'm not willing to put her down yet because she still have life and she's still got fight left. And it makes it hard for me to leave her alone because there are long periods of time in the day she's sleeping, and during the nighttime she's a little bit restless, but she's comfortable right now. If I see her switch positions, even staying away from the cover as much, I'm not going to stress over it. I got my Christmas lights up. I got my Christmas lights up where she's able to have some kind of lighting, a night light of sorts. And when I leave out of here, I'm usually have a light in this place that she can deal with. She'll be able to go back and forth, and I got pee pads all over the place, so she doesn't mark up the carpet as much. And she'll be wandering all over the place. I have to make sure that certain areas are going to be blocked up now. I got to work on that to keep her from jumping or climbing over. And this is not going to be the easiest damn thing in the world, but I'm going to have to do this thing. She ain't going to like me for this, but I really don't care. I got to keep her away from where the hell she's trying to get into and how she can get out of it. At one time, there's an area between the couch and the blue chair where my brother used to sleep in. She walked right through and went over to the far end table. And underneath the far end table, there is space for her to walk around the love seat into the living room. But she scared the hell out of me because she didn't know how to get through this damn thing. I got to find a way within an hour to get it plugged up before I get the hell out of here. And I'm still coming close to the idea that I gotta take off because of her. Now, if it was my brother or my mom was still alive, I'd be pushing things aside just to take care of family because to me, family is everything. Family is everything. And you lose it, it's the hardest damn thing for a person to get through life. And this was just driving me nuts on this one. One day class I took, and I want to see this class through. But at the expense of losing my dog? The hardest thing is when you look in her eyes. You know she's there, but then again, she's not there. I feel like I'm on 24/7 geriatric at this point. I'm afraid of coming home and seeing her dead. I'm afraid of waking up and seeing her dead. This is the hardest damn thing about being a pet owner. When do you take her to the final time? I put too many damn dogs down. Me and my brother had hard enough going to the vet, and my mother would never. She wouldn't. It'd still tear her ass apart. My brother and I did all the running around throughout our lifetime, and we'd. I hate making those damn final trips. Some of them were too late, but still. She still has life left in her. I still have to believe that God's going to keep her up alive for a little bit longer. But it doesn't make it any easier. I may joke, I may kid concerning about my class at this point over here. I may go into theatrical buffoonery, but when it comes down for taking care of family, making those kind of hard choices, I want to do this for the semester. I know I can retake the class again if I needed to, but the hardest damn thing is my mother. My little dog, my little mother. If we're talking about an adult situation, I think my brother and my mother would be on my ass on this one. A long time ago, and I said this before in my other videos, that Dave and I had arguments on this one. Almost became a knuckle. He was thoroughly convinced that this was the right time for me to go and finish up college. Despite the fact he would get worse and worse, he would say, you're not going to cancel." I said, "Dave, I'll throw it away just to take care of you because you're family." I think I pissed him off even further. That you're throwing away an education like this, John. There's another chance like this. And you're my brother. I don't give a shit. Family comes first. What's the difference between a human being and a dog? We're dealing with a family member here. It's like, oh well, I'll come back and get me another dog. It's not that simple. It's replacing another family member with a newcomer coming in. This is the thing that's really kind of tearing me apart at this point. Dealing with that kind of reality check. How do you replace a lost family member? How do you move on from this? It pissed me off. It upset me a great deal that I couldn't even deal with this shit. Some of you guys out there aren't pet owners. Maybe a few of you are. But when you lose an animal, it's not an animal. It's a loved one. It's a loved one. And I can't deal with that. I can't. I'm having a hard time understanding that particular point of view. Family to me is everything. Family to me is everything. Losing family is the hardest damn thing a person can ever go through. What the hell am I supposed to do about it? It's not like an item that you can replace from Amazon. We're talking about a living being that you put yourself invested interest into. Your love, your support, everything that you put into this being, and the being is also put into you. You're integrated. Every time I was in a position of losing that loved one, it's like tearing my soul apart. I really didn't understand it back then. I was trying to hide out the emotions, but I know it's tearing me apart. I didn't do any deep thoughts and deep feelings about this one. I'm going to be regretting the when I make that decision of taking a semester off, and then there's extra time after that. If I take the spring off, I've got spring and summer to agonize through, and then fall, I go back at it. I'm not as younger as I thought it was, and it gets harder and harder for me to retain. But if I happen to lose my mother in the process, I'm going to be losing myself in the process because she's my world. And losing that is the hardest damn thing to do because I have to acknowledge that it's what it is. I don't like it. I don't. But I don't know what else to do about it. I'm taking it a day at a time and hoping and trusting God knows. He's already know because he's already got something ahead. I have to walk in faith. My brother had always ribbed me ever since he'd been in a program of recovery. Where's your faith in God? At points in my life, I would hear him. Yeah, either it was here physically or it would challenge me in sticking his face in my face. I said, where's your faith in God? I get angry at times. I wanted to blast him one. I'm like, how dare you? Shut the Oh man, I wanted to get into it with him. And the thing is fear. I'm afraid. I've lost too many people and too many family members that I don't know how to deal with another one. It's bad enough I deal with the loss of David and I deal with the loss of Ma. There's also a little boy and D. I mean, four beings in 11 years. Hell of a thing to tear myself apart. I need a little bit of structure and stability and sanity. That's why I'm hiding myself in school sometimes. That's why I got a therapist who's a sounding wall. These are my sounding walls. But we're dealing with something that would tear your gut apart. And it's hard to come back from it. I barely come back from it. Shit. Dealing with physical ailments as it is. The neuropathy is kicking my ass. I mean, these things are kicking my ass to this point over here. I should be running around scared about that damn thing, and I'm not. My body's deteriorating. Okay, fine. I accept it. I acknowledge it. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die. But the thing is, what I can't deal with is the loss right now on Earth. I know they'll be waiting for me up in stairs if it's going to be my fate. I hope so. Sometimes I don't think I'm worthy upstairs. Or maybe I am. A bit of a pain in the ass. But dealing with the loss of my dog, The last of the family members who are here is living slowly. I don't know. She's going to be automatically keeling over or die. I don't know if I'm going to wake up that way. If I am, then everything else, fuck it. Pardon my language, but everything else goes. And I don't know what the hell to do about the damn ashes after that. I gotta take care of the ashes. There's some things to still have to take care of on Earth before I leave. And I still have to be a caregiver and caretaker, both, to my little dog. Part of the dementia situation is they have problems with their bowels and their bladder. I thought it was just going to be a temporary thing until I had to realize that it's getting harder and harder to deal with that. To be honest, and to be embarrassed, from time to time I do wear an underpad. Just in case I happen to get into those kind of embarrassing situations that I'm using up more clean shorts than ever. Even when I do the laundry. It's hardly, you don't even talk about that kind of thing, do you? But, I'm getting older, so it's going to be the talk anyway, isn't it? But saying this to my dog right now, constant scrubbing of the floor, I figured, hell, I just might as well spend $50 or a little bit more each month of pads so she can use them and I can get rid of them that way. And I don't have to keep dirtying up the floor all the damn time. If she can't do it outside, if she refuses to be outside, it's no wonder I'm seeing her more and more afraid of going outside. It's not familiar territory. She'll run around and play in the air, and I'm afraid of her getting hurt. But what I'm more afraid of, waking up and finding her dead body. Then I have to deal with the reality of it. And I'm not looking forward to it. For right now, I have to take it a day at a time and still decide whether or not I'm going to drop the class or not. There is a cutoff point. We're barely getting started in this semester. This is the first week. This is the second class coming up. I don't want to miss it, but I'm also worried about my dog. I have to make sure that there's food and water and she's comfortable enough out here. I'll come home and I'll be able to get her fed. I've got food for her. I'm not worried about that. Now it's going to be harder for me because I'm going to be worrying about her and her life. Not just trying to keep up with the education, that's one thing, but no. How many more days on earth do I have with her? But even if I happen to drop the class, I'd still be worrying about that portion of it, wouldn't I? How many days on earth do I have with her? A lesson to be learned, people. Cherish every damn minute you have. Every second with your loved one. I can fill my head up with a hell of a lot of silly notions left and right with works of art and everything else, but the human heart, loss of a loved one, the hardest damn thing to deal with is going on in life and living or surviving with a broken heart. The reason why I do the diary of the griever named John Weaver, which is me.